Manny, hey, it's the Goose. How you been? Good, good. Say, been hearing lots of rumors. Just wanted to call you to make sure it's official now. You've got an opponent, right? It's not Floyd, right? Okay, good. We're hoping for a real fight. So it's Mikey Garcia then? No? Who is it? Errol Spence Jr. Yes, Manny! Oh, thank you. We're so excited. Thank you so much. No, I'm not going to sing with you, Manny. I'm going to leave that to you. Got a show to do. I got to run. Thank you, Manny. You are the man. All right. Yes, it is Coffee with the Goose. So glad you joined me for another show, and this is so exciting. I'm the Goose. Glad you joined me, and yes, we have great news. No, we're not going to just jump on the bandwagon and announce it before everybody else. We want to make sure it's actually true. Yes, Manny is going to fight Errol Spence Jr. But before we go any further, of course, my coffee, just like my opinion, very strong. Got some creamer in there to be sweet, just like me. Excellent. All right, now I'm not in uniform. I know, not the usual shirt. Just got done with mass, so God bless you guys. Very excited today. Manny Pacquiao has finally announced his opponent for his next fight. And yes, it's Errol Spence Jr. This is so cool. You know, we've heard so many rumors, and you know, all we can do is report on whatever news we get, even if it's not official. We've talked about Conor McGregor. We've talked about Ryan Garcia and Mikey Garcia and Terrence Crawford. None of it panned out. But I said this many times before. I was not going to just go along with everybody else and say, oh, he's going to fight this tomato can, as they used to say, or this schmuck, or this paper tiger. No, Manny Pacquiao, this is how he became a legend in the sport of boxing. He only fights the best. And, the only way to continue that legacy is to fight one of the champions. Of course, Terrence Crawford would not sign the dotted line. I'm not going to call him a coward. He's a great fighter, and he's a champion. But the only other alternative was the other welterweight champion, and that's Errol Spence Jr. Now, I'm going to give you some examples of why Spence is a great opponent and one to be not feared but respected. Errol Spence Jr. is born in the I believe Long Island or the New York City area. And he's since lived in the Dallas, Texas area, DeSoto, Texas. And he's undefeated, like Terrence Crawford and like Keith Thurman was before Manny Pacquiao beat him 2 years ago and took his crown. Errol Spence Jr. is 27-0 with 21 KOs. He has a few things in common with Manny Pacquiao, actually. He's a champion. He is a Christian. He is left-handed. He is a father. He has 3 children. Just had a new baby boy not long ago, born into the family. And he's been humble just like Manny Pacquiao has. After he defeated Sean Porter 2 years ago, he was involved in a horrific car accident, his own doing. He got drunk, got in his Maserati, a convertible, and did not wear seatbelts and went screaming down the road in the Dallas area and crashed. He was ejected from the vehicle, and by his own admission, it's a miracle he's alive. He didn't even suffer a broken bone. He suffered some facial injuries and tooth injuries, and he remembers nothing about the accident. But he's very humbled because of it. And he, again, said it's a miracle from God. And he's got his mind right. And he's fought once since then, a decision victory over Danny Garcia. So Errol Spence, good for him. He's healthy. He's back in the game. And again, he is a very, very scary individual in the ring. He, like Manny Pacquiao, has fought many champions. And I think his resume, aside from Manny's, is the best in the welterweight division. Let me give you just a few examples of the great fighters that he has, done battle with and defeated. Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, also Mikey Garcia, Lamont Peterson, Kell Brook, and Chris Algieri. And, he won my respect with that victory over Sean Porter. Even if you just get in the ring with Sean Porter, you're a man, because Porter's going to bring it. He's not in there to, dance around and win judges' points on, just style. He's there to beat you. And he does. And he almost beat Errol Spence Jr. Spence dropped him in the 11th round, and I believe that was the difference. If it wasn't for that, Porter would have beaten him. So Errol Spence Jr. still a champion. He holds 2 belts, the WBO and the IBF. World Welterweight Championships. There's 2 other belts out there. One is held by Terrence Crawford, the Omaha, Nebraska native. That is the WBO Welterweight Championship. And the other one was held by Manny Pacquiao. That was a result of his defeat of Keith Thurman 2 years ago. That was the WBA crown. Now, they took it away from him, kinda, sorta, because he hadn't seen any action since then. And there's a good reason for that. It's COVID. And again, Pacquiao's not like other fighters, and he's not going to fight in front of an empty stadium. That's just not who he is. That's not how he rolls. And so they took it away from him and gave it to Ugas, who's a good fighter, but come on now, you can't, that's apples and oranges. Pacquiao is, they didn't take it away from him entirely. He is now what they call a champion in recess, kind of like Pope Benedict, right? He's still a pope. He is, but he isn't, but he is. So confusing. But I think, and I've heard rumors, again, they're just rumors, that the WBA is going to give that crown back to Manny as a result of his signing a contract to face the other champion, Errol Spence Jr. So it'll be kind of a unification bout, with the exception of, Crawford's crown. But that makes this fight even bigger. Pacquiao, a champion, against Spence, another champion. Now, I've already seen a lot of comments, a lot of predictions, and the fight's 3 months away. It's not until August 21st, and we think it's going to be in Las Vegas. But I've already heard a lot of predictions. Who do you think's going to win? And overwhelming majority think, we've heard this before, haven't we? We've heard this many times. Pacquiao can't handle him. Spence is going to retire him. Sure he is. Yeah. I'm not going to make a prediction now. It's way too early. But, I've never seen Pacquiao embarrassed, schooled by anybody. I've seen him defeated. That's part of the game. And I'm going to get into the Floyd news here in just a second. Not with any details, but one of the losses that Pacquiao has endured was at the hands of Floyd Mayweather. Look back at my last show, and I discussed that in detail, how Floyd will not honor a rematch clause in the contract and take on Pacquiao again. He's going to fight another joke of a fight, a YouTuber, Logan Paul. Give me a break. It's all in the cards. Floyd will get the victory. He won't earn it. And, Paul is not a fighter anyhow. He's just a YouTube schmuck. It's just a joke. But I mentioned that Floyd may be guilty of juicing on the eve of the fight with Pacquiao. He was caught using an IV. He said it was for vitamins. I don't know why you'd need an IV for vitamins. I think there's only one reason he was using the IV, and that was to mask the use of performance-enhancing drugs. Well, I have some ammunition for you. You guys doubt me? Don't doubt me. Come on now. I don't claim to be a genius. I'll let other people call me that, right? No, don't doubt me on this. Go back, look, just like I did, at an article in the Washington Post in the wake of the fight between Pacquiao and Mayweather in 2015, and he's so guilty. He's so guilty. And he's smart. He knows how to play the game. He knows boxing's very corrupt, as you guys know. First of all, I don't think he won the fight. At least not as clear cut as you guys think, or many of you guys think. I think Pacquiao won that fight anyhow. But Floyd was juiced. So, you know, again, going back on what I said a few minutes ago, Manny has never been schooled by anybody, and he ain't going to be schooled by Errol Spence Jr. As much as I respect Spence, he's a great fighter. He's not going to make Manny look bad. I don't think he's going to knock him out. I don't think he's going to retire him. So you could put that to rest. This is going to be a real matchup, a real fight. And with all respect to Spence, he better do his homework. He better get in some good training because he's going to go in with a beast. Yeah, the beast is 42 years old, but it's still Manny Pacquiao. Ask Keith Thurman if he's a beast. Yeah, he is. He still is. I just saw a video last night, as a matter of fact, comparing training techniques between Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. It wasn't even funny. It wasn't even close. Spence is just plodding along, and Manny is firing rapid shots at his trainer's mitts and the heavy bag. Tell you what, if you can predict a fight just by that video, Spence is in big trouble. But again, I'm not going to make a prediction yet. But I will say this. Manny, they've asked him, and they've asked him this before almost any fight. Your opponent's bigger than you. He's younger. He's stronger. He's taller. He's got better reach. Aren't you a little afraid? And Pacquiao smiles and says, I'm never intimidated. I'm a fighter. True. Very true. And Errol Spence Jr., you better be ready, because you're in a world of hurts if you take Pacquiao lightly. One more thing I want to add to the mix here. Spence, even though he's 11 years younger than Pacquiao, and going to be heavier, going to be taller, greater reach, he's also a left-hander, just like Pacquiao. And I don't think Pacquiao, I think he's 11 and I don't know. It's hard to find those details, but Pacquiao's fought many left-handers, and it's tough. It's tough fighting or competing against a left-hander in any sport, especially boxing. And I'm left-handed. I know it's tough. So it's going to be a great fight. I am so excited. No predictions yet. No. I'll let everybody else talk and talk first and think later. You know me, and you know my producer, Jude. We take this very seriously. We are going to dissect both fighters, their techniques, their strengths, their weaknesses, and we're going to give you an honest opinion and prediction when we get closer to the fight. And little added bonus, we know what you guys like. You want to hear the news from the source. Just like Pacquiao's last fight, when we went to LA and we interviewed Freddie Roach and Justin Fortune, we're going to do it again, and we're going to up the ante. We have already set up hotel rooms for Vegas. We're going to be there, not just on fight night, we're going to be there the whole week. So we will bring you Manny Pacquiao interviews. It may be in a press conference setting, but nonetheless, we're going to give you Manny Pacquiao interviews. We're going to talk to Freddie Roach, Justin Fortune, Errol Spence Jr., and there's going to be a lot of big names there, and we're going to get them all for you. You know where to go for the best boxing news. It's right here, Coffee with the Goose. Thank you so much for watching. Get ready for a great summer of talking boxing and a huge match to come. We are so juiced for this. Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. Bring it on. That's it for this edition of Coffee with the Goose. Thanks for subscribing, you guys. Stick with us. We'll talk to you again soon.